The Chamber was born out of necessity and out of dreams. When the Chamber started in 1911, Las Vegas was almost completely a railroad town. The railroad from Los Angeles to Salt Lake went through here, and the repair shops were located in the downtown area. And that was the center of the economy. And they realized we needed to diversify, especially in the wake of all the problems they'd recently had. In the previous year, there'd been a big flood in the Meadow Valley that washed out railroad service for months. So the business people who led the community of Las Vegas realized we have to do something to encourage business, investment, to make sure that there are no further disasters that really befall the town. The Chamber of Commerce is a symbol of permanence, and what you've got is a deep commitment now to making this town work. Las Vegas was almost completely isolated from the northern part of the state. The first major road construction in and out of Las Vegas is really E.W. Griffith's baby. So E.W. Griffith is truly one of the founding fathers. Another of the founding fathers at the Chamber is Pop Squires. He is out there promoting Las Vegas beyond the Chamber. These are people who early on made a commitment to Las Vegas. They were going to stay here. They were going to make this town into something big and special. And for them, starting a Chamber of Commerce was a natural part of the progression from little railroad pit stop to major city. When the Chamber started, one of the first things it did was start promoting Las Vegas as a tourist attraction. This is an era when people would go for the winter or go for their health to the west. Las Vegas is selling its climate early on. And later, the Chamber will go on to play a major role in promoting tourism and gaming in the process. But as early as that, the Chamber is in on this. Where I think Las Vegas was very innovative was that when World War II ended, we entered a new period in our history. This is the post-industrial era. It's when we really develop leisure in America as more of an industry, and there's more access to it for the general public. The Chamber deserves a lot of credit for how tourism developed as an industry here. And the key player was the Chamber's president in the mid-40s, Max Kelch. Kelch realized there needs to be more to get people to come here. So he was behind the creation of the Live Wire Fund, where businesses would contribute money for the Chamber to use in promoting Las Vegas. And they hired an ad agency. And that led to what is now known as the Las Vegas News Bureau. So from the 40s into the 90s, what the Chamber started was one of the main promotional methods Las Vegas used. When you look at what happened here, stayed here, and all the ways we have promoted Las Vegas nationally, it begins during World War II with one idea at the Chamber of Commerce. Chamber's involved in getting Hoover Dam built here in part because of the key people in the process for Nevada. The main two people in southern Nevada who were really pushing for it were Ed Clark and Pop Squires. So here are Chamber leaders looking and saying, we have to get jobs into this community, we have to build the economy. And Hoover Dam serves that purpose in a variety of ways. The Chamber's had an influence on how Nevada's policies and government have evolved, partly because the people who have led the Chamber have themselves been prominent figures. A good example of this is Archie Grant. He was very active in pushing for support to get a university here. And the Chamber has been part of what you might call the interlocking public-private partnerships. Good example of this. Las Vegas needed another airport, and the Chamber pushes for the bond issues, for the land deals that enabled McCarran Field to become one of the busiest airports in the United States. The Chamber is involved in getting the convention center started in the late 50s and then expanding it as time goes on. And the Chamber helps move Las Vegas into a different position, nationally and internationally, as an entertainment capital. Las Vegas specializes in reinventing itself. The Chamber has a role to play in the next reinvention. The Chamber can help take Las Vegas from being seen as not having enough of a sense of community into more of a community with a broader economic base. The Chamber's been fighting this battle for a century. It has been pushing to diversify, to expand the economy. But I think now the need for innovation is greater than it has been in a very long time. You think about the Chamber of Commerce being the same age as the city of Las Vegas, and they've grown together. Well, you cannot have them grow together without them being inseparable. One has fostered the other. When you look at their history, you cannot separate them. And I think that's worth remembering as the Chamber turns 100.